In this episode, we are going to discover the remarkable professional path of Mrs. Francesca Ziniel from Ghana. Her career is a perfect example of determination mixed with a constant will to improve her skills and knowledge in the domain of maritime security to reach her goal and become a recognized practitioner in Ghana and at an international level in her fields of expertise.
Good morning. My name is Francesca Ziniel. I am a Narcotics Control Officer from Ghana, and I am also the trainer for C Corp. My key steps in career started with a BSc Port and Shipping Administration from the Regional Maritime University, Ghana, a Master's in International Affairs and Diplomacy from the University of Ghana. And these two degrees, what they have done to me is to empower my skills in international affairs, in international trade, and also in international security.
During our conversation, I asked Francesca Ziniel if she remembered why she decided to join the maritime sector.
Whether I wanted to be part of the maritime sector growing up as a child. As a child, way back in junior high school, I wanted to be a marine engineer. I had no idea who a marine engineer is, but just reading in storybooks, hearing the word marine engineer, I was enchanted and I wanted to be a marine engineer. When I got to the university, that is the Regional Maritime University, I changed my mind from being a marine engineer to a maritime lawyer because law has always been part of my fantasy. I wanted to read law. But at my time when I was going to the university, you could not read law as a first degree. You could only read law as a second degree. So I needed to have a profession, a career before going to read law. And then in Ghana, we had just one maritime lawyer, Kofi Mbia, and I wanted to be the first female maritime lawyer in Ghana. But while I'm working, the maritime law became a secondary desire, but boarding vessels, profiling, interacting with the seafarers, and doing searches became something of higher interest to me than the other passions. Working with the Narcotics Control, it started with a training at the Military Training Center in Esuchare, a very tough training. And then with my work started at the airport as a profiling officer. And in 2017, I was reassigned to Tema. And since in Tema, I have been not just a profiling officer, an examination officer, but I'm also the team lead for boarding and also in charge of training and rummaging of officers not just in Ghana, but also within the Gulf of Guinea.
Regarding her impressive career, I was nevertheless wondering if she had had to face some obstacles as a woman in this male-dominated sector, and how did she manage to cope with these difficulties?
My obstacles as a woman in this career as a maritime security personnel. The first obstacle has been that the maritime security is a male-dominated area. So even being a leader, leading a team and a whole unit, there are times, when you are working, automatically, even the junior officer as a man is seen as a leader. Everybody just ignore you because you're a woman, and as a woman, you cannot be a leader. How can you be a head? They are looking for the head, and they are looking for a man. And when you are pointed out to a woman, they just ignore you because seeing a woman, they think you cannot do the job. Boarding vessels, you board a vessel and you are going to speak to the captain, and the captain sees a small girl and doesn't think that he should cooperate. But what has helped me is that when I meet them, my stature as a smallish girl is something they easily ignore. But when I start talking, my knowledge in maritime, my knowledge in law, my knowledge in maritime security, my knowledge in IMO is what marvels them, and they are forced to listen to me and to obey my instructions. Unlike other people just come as security officers to search, when I come, I'm combining the legal aspects, I'm combining the protocols, I'm combining all the processes together with what I am looking for so far as the Narcotics Control Commission LI is all about. And when they see the knowledge mixed with skills, they are forced to listen despite my stature and me being a woman. So knowledge and understanding of your job and skills is very, very key.
With such a level of motivation in her own career, I could not help but ask Francisca what would be her advice if she had to motivate a young lady to join the maritime security domain.
If I am to advise a young lady to encourage them, to motivate them to join the maritime sector, I think the first thing I would tell them is that they should dream on, because the maritime industry is one of the biggest industries in the world. In Ghana, 99% of whatever we have come through the sea. And the maritime industry has everything. Every profession can fit in. So as a young lady dreaming, you can dream vast, because no matter what your dream is, it has a place in the maritime industry. And secondly, I would tell them to be determined and to work hard. And aside that, integrity and knowledge acquisition is key to fulfilling their dreams.
And to conclude our conversation, I asked Francesca Ziniel how does she see the future of women in the domain of maritime security in the Gulf of Guinea.
In my view, the future is bright. The future is woman. The future is women in maritime security in Gulf of Guinea, because during the Women in Maritime Security conference, I met excellent women who have excelled in their security career in maritime, and women who are upcoming women who are desiring and doing well in maritime security. And I met young girls who are desiring and very curious. And if I put these three together, I see that the future of Gulf of Guinea, so far as maritime security is concerned, is a woman and is bright.
EnMAR Voices is a podcast funded by the European Union and produced by the EnMAR Project.